All right, so um, May 5th, Mayo de Cinco. All right, so I only looked at the futures today and did not, I didn't really, I traded, but didn't really trade, if that makes sense. I was looking for setups. I was happy I identified some. I actually put some on TradingView where I saw, the wedges that I was looking for. It's difficult when you don't have the trades in. So there were some setups that came out really well and some that I messed up. Um, yeah. They weren't some that were rubbish and some that were pretty awesome. So let me see. Maybe I should put it up, at least how I was trading. So today I was busy with some personal affairs. So whilst I was kind of working on Zoom, I turned off Thinkorswim so I couldn't get distracted. So price came, as we recorded earlier, price came to this level of supply, and supply essentially was what we took from this region, and we could have taken this short, but chose not to, obviously, because it's the first 5 minute bar, and you never know what's going to happen. It is the future, so, but I just never know, and it's always nice to kind of wait. In my experience, taking trades off the first bar is a gamble. So this second bar did not close on its low, so could not get in short. However, there was a trade here, there's a double top here. I haven't yet figured out how to trade this, what they call it, this consolidation or this bear flag. But just the breakout would have been good. This would have been a good signal candle to go short, but didn't do that. Saw this wedge forming by the time I came over, and was then now when this was forming. This was a very strong red candle, and I saw it coming back, and I thought, okay, here we go, 1, 2, and this is the third push, and we aren't getting a very strong response from the bears. Sometimes you want to have a really big candle, but it didn't really happen. And so this push, I also was looking at, looking to the left to see whether we would, because this was the level that I was looking at, or even this level. So I thought, okay, fine, we could come down to this level, but we never did. So, and essentially what I was thinking was maybe we would have a long, big candle, which would come all the way down, but it never really happened. Then this candle showed up, and then it started rising. And once it closed strongly, went long from this point. Yeah, the trace thing isn't working. Anyway, went long from that point at the close of this, risking this. The initial target was 1 to 1, which was, where was it now? We didn't actually get there. We got faked out because of a pullback, this pullback. So that's 8.2 and 8.8, which essentially was somewhere around here. But we got faked out because, so initially I had a wedge touching this and it hit this. No, this one hadn't even formed. So we just saw price struggling and struggling and struggling. We saw all these wicks appearing at the top. Of course, they would be because we're in a supply region. But we didn't have any follow through. And then here we had this bar, which just became a red bar. And I was talking to my colleague that I would put my stop over here. And maybe it wasn't a good idea to move the stop. But anyway, put the stop over there and got stopped out. So, and I thought it was 17, but I think it was only 3 points, or 3.6 points. Got back in long once we had broken out. And then just took the thing to the top, obviously. And then I kind of did this analysis. I went on to the higher time frame. This is not so much the 15 minute. Let's look at the 1 hour. just to kind of get a sense of what was going on. So I noticed that at the open we had a low here. Maybe I should take this out because it's getting in the way. And take this out. And take this out. So we had a low here, we had a high, and we had another low. So we can plot this. So essentially what we did was we just took this, took that, and then just extended it. And so what I was looking at was, well, I thought to myself, well, we've broken out of this wedge, and not this wedge, this trend is a trend that we know is a real trend. So therefore, traders are looking at this level, right? So I said, we either are going to test this high, or we're going to test this wedge. And of course, at this point, what happened? Okay, so yeah, and I said this when we were around this point, or was it here? And I said, well, if we're going to do that, we should just kind of see how far it would go. And of course, when we got here, this is where the supply region was, just at this point. And then we just come down, got to the VWAP, bounced, yeah, took this short, got faked out over here, which is weird because it's funny because this was actually the candle when it was full sort of came out. But again, I realized I need to really focus on closes, and came back down. It was a red, and as you can see, very strong trend. Exhaustion, pulled back, came back down again, and this was even more exhaustion. So this for me told me that we were coming down. Oh, the other thing again was, I think initially I had plotted something like this. So when we had the overshoot, this for me tells me we're about to get out. 1 push, 2 push, 3 push usually. So this came out, pulled back, and said this is probably going to be a bear flag, which it was. Came back down, double bottom, came back, tested this high, and this, I took some trades here that didn't work out because I was trying to see if I could play the supply and resistance, the demand and the support and resistance, and I realized I need to look for the trend. So this, obviously in hindsight, you can see, but at the time, all I saw was this wedge, and this. So I assumed, okay, let me take it short, and got stopped out. So yeah, got stopped out by this bar. So yeah, I haven't figured out how to trade this area, and really all I should have just done was just waited till I saw this happen and then just got the breakout. So this would have been a good candle to go short, but then I probably would have gone short here because again, you just don't know. How do we know we're getting short? Because we have 1 push, strong bear, 2 push getting weak, 3 push and strong red candle. So this, another strong one. This was a good one to go short. Green candle appeared, almost faked me out. And then we started going down. And at this point, I now remember what the plan was, which is we've come to test this high. Obviously, we came here, double topped, came back down, gone back again to test this high, triple topped, and then now heading all the way down till this point. Then the last trade was I went short once we broke down here, was actually in profit at this point, obviously. And then it just went back, and I thought, maybe that was not a good idea because this is the support, right? This area is a support. So what I did was when I saw this red candle appear, I then now just bought 2 contracts or sold 2 contracts, and then got filled on this level when this candle was here for break even for everything. So what was great was, whilst this was losing, I used the technique from Al's course where he talks about instead of getting out, just sell more on the pullback. Sell more on the pullback and make your money there. So today was great because we're tracking every single candle as they were forming. It was a rainy day in that regard, even though it is a sideways day. But one thing that I really like is the analysis, seeing this analysis play out, and also following the price as it's happened. I was tracking some other stocks today. Nvidia has, in my opinion, a 50% pullback. So this is actually good. I was hoping maybe we might go all the way to the top, but then because this is a downtrend, maybe not so much. We'll see. Maybe we might have one tomorrow, but a nice rally up. Facebook, same thing, just kind of went sideways. not SQ. It was Apple was here, and I didn't actually follow Apple. Oh gosh, these misprints. Yeah, Apple gapped out heavily, but just kind of went down with the market. So and then Tesla too. That too went down. I saw my Tesla and Neo calls for a loss, which is annoying because you know I should have gotten out when I should have. But again, we had this. I marked this supply region a few days ago or yesterday, and prices come again, visited this region again, and this would have been a good short, and also it came here and then short. So this would have really been a good short. In terms of getting in long, in fact, that's a really good point. Did we have any levels that we could have played long? Possibly here, because there's some support here. Maybe we could have looked for some. But again, I wasn't looking to trading this. I was just focusing on the equities. If that, oh boy. So, what could we have done? Wedge. So one, let's see, we have one low here, 2 and 3. So yeah, we have a wedge here, a double bottom, which would have been great. Could have taken it long here. Did we get 2 for 1? We did 3.7, so we want like 7 at least, and we did. So this would have been a beautiful trade up. And then this is something I still need to learn how to trade and how to enter, because here we have 1, 2, 3 push. Now, where do I enter? At the close of this bar, or do I, this is not really a great signal bar, so I don't know. Double top here. So this again would have been a great signal. This would have been a good entry short at this level. And this is one you just don't know. You just have to risk. So you could have said, oh, excuse me. This would have been a really good confirmation down. Just kind of being over here, in here. Obviously, we have more than 2 to 1. Just looking at that, 202.38, gotten quite a bit out of it. This is actually the reason why trading shares is so much better than trading futures, because you have cleaner setups, in my opinion. Doing this, I haven't yet figured out how to trade, but trading double tops and double bottoms, I kind of happy with. Here's a wedge, but this broke down. Actually, maybe the triangle. So 1 push, 2, 3, and then you had this drop. But we would have already gotten in over here, because again, like we said, this is it's actually a triple top. So this is a range. Obviously, we're trading. So 1, 2, and then 3. All right. So that's my day, and looking to keep trying and testing these things. And then maybe tomorrow, if I have time, I'm going to execute maybe 2 or 3 trades like this and see how far we do go.